Is fear something to conquer or disobey? This age-old question hovers over us, whispering quietly when we least expect it. Every shadowy corner and uncertain path asks us to bow to its presence or challenge its tyranny. But what if fear is neither a foe to vanquish nor a ruler to defy? What if it's merely a conditioned response, woven into the fabric of our being from early experiences, vivid stories told around campfires, or silent, learned lessons from observing the world? Think about it. How often do we stand on the precipice of a decision, feeling fear's fingers tugging at our sleeves, urging us to hesitate? We have been taught to think of fear as a weakness, a flaw in our armor. But what if I tell you that fear is merely an echo of our conditioning, a well-trodden path in the landscape of our minds? It does not signify our fragility, but rather the stories we've absorbed, the expectations we've been saddled with. To dismantle fear's grip, we must first understand it. Imagine fear as a mighty river. We can't control its flow at the surface, but we can learn to navigate its currents if we dive beneath the chaos. Here lies the wisdom of the Stoics, timeless philosophers who gazed unflinchingly into the face of fear and emerged wiser, stronger. These warriors of the mind, individuals like Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius, did not consider fear an enemy to be slain nor a master to obey. Instead, they saw it as an inevitable companion on life's journey, a force to be understood and harnessed. Stoicism, practiced by ancient rulers and generals, remains powerful because it teaches us not to eliminate fear, but to act in spite of it. Imagine a warrior standing amidst chaos, heart pounding with raw fear, yet moving forward with deliberate, measured steps. This is not the absence of fear. It is the mastery of one's actions and focus despite its presence. Stoic philosophers taught that our power lies in our interpretations and reactions, in the values we consciously choose to hold on to. They believed in the dichotomy of control. Some things are within our power, and others are not. Fear, as a conditioned response, belongs to the realm of things beyond our direct control. But how we choose to respond, now, that's where our sovereign power resides. Have you ever noticed how fear tends to blur the lines of reality, magnifying uncertainties until they eclipse even our bravest ambitions? But what if, instead of succumbing to its vastness, we start questioning it? Is this fear showing me a real danger, or is it simply my mind's echoing projection of past shadows? Can this fear not become a teacher, revealing instead of obscuring? Imagine standing at the edge of a dense forest, its depths unknown and intimidating. Fear tells you of monsters lurking in the shadows, but as you take that first step into the woods, you begin to see the life and beauty within, the play of light and the dance of leaves in the wind. The lurking monsters, more often than not, are but phantoms of your imagining. This is the practice the Stoics would have us embrace, stepping into our fears not to be devoured, but to emerge enlightened. Now, consider this not a solo journey, but an invitation, a call to action. Join in this exploration of fear's intricate web. Reflect upon where fear may have had its hooks in you, halting your aspirations, shaping your narratives. Can you not begin to unravel it with the guiding lamp of Stoic wisdom? Embark on this path to dismantle fear's grip, to move with purpose and courage. For in doing so, you claim not only the essence of Stoic philosophy, but the power to write your own story. As we navigate this narrative, let us draw from the well of the ancients and emerge not merely armored against fear, but transformed by the very understanding of it. Imagine a world where every decision you face teeters on the edge of action and inaction. Life invites you to participate, to leap into the unknown with courage and curiosity. Yet, often, a whisper of hesitation pulls you back, grounding you in the realm of fear. Have you ever paused, feeling the weight of an unmade choice and sensing the vast, untapped potential waiting on the other side? Hesitation can seclude you, enclosing you in a space where your dreams remain as whispers rather than becoming visible realities. Fear, that silent architect of inaction, thrives in this environment. It spins tales of failure, rejection, and inadequacy, creating illusions that paralyze. Consider how many personal dreams have withered because they never left the realm of imagination. Opportunities, possible friendships, career advancements, new experiences are all lost in this abyss. Picture missing a chance to meet your future best friend, or shying away from a project that could have defined your professional legacy. In each instance, the common denominator is often the momentary pause, that hesitation layered with doubt and speculation. How many times have fear and overanalysis led you to remain on the sidelines as life's game unfolds? In the world of the Stoics, such hesitation would be met with resolute action. Marcus Aurelius, for instance, reminds us that the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Imagine his resolve as he governed not just an empire, but his own turbulent thoughts. To him, and to his philosophical counterpart, Epictetus, the solution lay in action as a force of good, a counterweight to the growing mass of fear and doubt. Think about it. Movement dissipates the shadows that make monsters of delay and inaction. When you act, even in small ways, you begin to wrest control back from the doubts that embed themselves in your consciousness. Have you found this truth in your own life? Perhaps in moments where you chose to act, you discovered strength and capability you hadn't realized nestled within you. Too often, fear masquerades as wisdom, cajoling you with the lie that waiting breeds readiness. But readiness is a product of action, not contemplation. Every move you make carries with it the ripple effect of momentum, unraveling fears as it goes, like sunlight scattering the mist. But what does this practically look like in everyday life? Consider beginning with small, intentional actions. If your dream is to write, start with a daily sentence instead of envisioning the daunting task of finishing a novel. If the goal is to reconnect with an old friend, send the message instead of wondering what their reaction might be. Each action, however minute, fights back against fear's encroachment, nurturing a habit of progress and resilience. Time and again, the most profound challenge you face is not external. It is the insidious comfort of doing nothing. This silent adversary promises safety by avoiding risk, yet ultimately bequeaths regret. Looking back, how will you view the road not traveled, the words unspoken, the life unlived? Inaction is indeed a subtle, lethal enemy that robs you of the richness found only in engagement with the world. As you tread this philosophical landscape, reflect on this. Each decision, each action, no matter how small, is a reclamation of your agency. In this assertion of will, you defy the inertia of fear and carve a path toward a more vibrant existence. What step will you take today to bridge the chasm between intention and action? Fear is an intriguing creature, isn't it? It slithers through our minds, weaving intricate patterns with its sinewy narratives, often becoming indistinguishable from reality. Our journey now leads us to uncover the deceptive layers of fear, to expose the lies it crafts and face the illusions it thrives upon. Imagine for a moment you're walking through a dense forest, the shadows of twilight stretching across the earth. Every rustle of leaves might seem like an impending threat. But is it truly? Let's dissect that sensation. The fascinating thing about fear is how it often builds upon itself, relying on imagined scenarios more than actual threats. Our ancestors had a clear purpose for this emotion. Fear was a survival mechanism, and real danger lurked behind every bush. Yet, in the modern world, how often does an imagined threat actually become real? We often find ourselves prisoners of our own minds, weary of scenarios that never materialize. Consider the teachings of Stoic philosophers like Seneca. He wisely noted, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Picture yourself at the edge of a great chasm. Your mind fills with visions of falling, each scenario more vivid than the one before. Yet, are you not standing on solid ground? Seneca's words encourage us to question the narratives we craft, narratives built on fear rather than fact. To illustrate this further, let's pivot to the world of sports, where overcoming fear can define a champion. One individual who embodies this spirit is Michael Jordan. Renowned for his resilience, Jordan faced countless failures. Remember his words, reflecting on the numerous missed shots and lost games? He once confessed that he had failed over and over again, and that is precisely why he succeeded. Jordan rewrote his narrative through direct action, drawing strength from discomfort and transforming imagined failures into real triumphs. It's essential to understand the distinction between actual danger and fear-driven narratives. Real danger demands a response. The imagined, however, holds no power but what we give it. Consider the act of public speaking, a fear many share. The mind conjures a hostile audience and embarrassing blunders, yet upon action, we often face none of it. This illustrates the crucial concept that exposure, confronting fear directly, can dissipate the very illusion that holds us captive. We begin to see cracks in the facade, realizing our dread was unfounded. Exposure is akin to turning on a light in a dark room. At first, shadows dominate, but with illumination, you perceive only what is real. Taking direct action, confronting what we dread, often reveals the emptiness of our fears. It's not about denial, but about facing the discomfort straight on. When we do, we gain the invaluable skill of transforming fear into strength. How, then, can we apply this to our daily lives? Start by identifying your own fears. Write them down, view them as external artifacts, and step into the arena where they reside. Take the stage, make that call, initiate that conversation. Face the reality rather than the fear-driven narrative. Engage with discomfort as you would a workout, building resilience with each repetition. Discomfort becomes a tool honed through consistent exposure and reflective practice. You may wonder, will it ever be easy? Likely, no. But ease is not the goal. Empowerment is. There's a profound shift when we transform our perception of fear, seeing it not as a barrier, but as a pathway. This journey from darkness to clarity, from fear to action, can redefine the very essence of how we experience the world. As we venture deeper, recall that this is not a path to obliterate fear entirely. Fear is, and always will be, a part of the human experience. Our goal is to disentangle it from reality, to strip away the lies and see through the illusion. Can you imagine living with the courage to face what terrifies you, to act not despite your fear, but because you've learned its true nature? As you contemplate these ideas, consider what narratives you might be willing to rewrite through your own direct action. Imagine a world where fear is not a shadow looming over your every move, but a companion you understand intimately. How often do we find ourselves trapped by the fears we carry, as though they were chains forged not in reality, but in the recesses of our own minds? Indeed, the realm of fear is not an external landscape. It resides within us, a subtle thief of joy and potential. Thus begins our exploratory quest into the heart of fear, where we shall confront its ephemeral nature and cultivate resilience through deliberate practice. Consider your mind as a vast fortress, each thought a brick contributing to its strength or vulnerability. This fortress requires vigilant maintenance, for any lapse could allow fear to seep in and take root. The Stoics of ancient philosophy mastered this art, advocating for an impenetrable fortress built on self-control and reflection. They taught that the power to decide lies within us, that we are the gatekeepers of our mental domain. But building that fortress is not a one-time endeavor. It is a daily ritual, a discipline, overtaking fleeting motivation. Think of the last time you waited for motivation to strike before taking action. Was it satisfying, or did it leave you in a state of perpetual anticipation, a dreamer, never waking? Discipline, unlike motivation, does not rely on whims. It is the constant, unwavering commitment to practice, even when enthusiasm wanes. In this light, morning rituals become sacred rites of initiation, moments to prime our fortress for the day ahead. Waking with the dawn, we embrace moments of solitude and reflection. Perhaps you start with a meditation, a few deep breaths that cleanse the soul, solidifying your foundation. Or maybe it's with the simplicity of journaling, capturing thoughts before they drift away like morning mist. These rituals are not mere habits. They are declarations of sovereignty over one's inner world. Within these rituals, deliberate exposure to discomfort becomes an ally, not an adversary. Consider taking cold showers, a stark plunge into discomfort that sharpens the mind and invigorates the spirit. Such practices remind us that discomfort is temporary, a stepping stone to strength. Each voluntary walk into discomfort trains the mind to welcome, rather than fear, the unfamiliar. As discipline installs courage, our identity subtly transforms. We begin to see ourselves not as victims of circumstance, but as artisans of our fate, sculptors chipping away at the marble of self-doubt. Fear, once a towering, invincible giant, is reduced to a manageable companion, a whisper rather than a roar. Reflect on identity as the byproduct of discipline. What if we are not static beings defined by the sum of our fears, but dynamic entities shaped by our practiced resilience? In this metamorphosis, the distinction between who we are and who we desire to become blurs, and the path to self-realization becomes less daunting and more inviting. As we close this exploration, let the journey beyond hesitation guide us to committed action. It is in overcoming the inertia of fear and stepping boldly into our capabilities that we uncover the truth. Courage is cultivated, not gifted. With every act of discipline, we etch courage into our very being. So here stands the call to action. Dear listener, take the step, face the fear, and let the practice of courage propel you into a new realm of possibility. Journey beyond the confines of doubt, past the thresholds of hesitation, and into a life marked by committed, unwavering action.